And that's what we're talking about today, affirmation. So about 3 years ago, I created that body of work with 12 tracks, and we titled it Affirmations because we began a research and found out that the secret to framing and sustaining your world, your life's experiences, your destiny, is captured in 5 letters: WORDS. There exists nothing as powerful as words in this world. And the universe, the entirety of the universe as we see it today, was created, was framed, and is sustained by words. Can you just imagine that? Now, so every tree you see was created by words. Every animal you see was created by words. Every fish that you see was created by words. The clouds that you see, the earth that you see, every single thing was created by words. Now, that is not even what blows my mind the most, right? What blows my mind the most is that everything is sustained by words. And that gives us the awesomeness and the power of words. Now, there's no way that we can talk about words that frame your world and affirmations without going into the Bible. Now, I found out recently that God is Word and Word is God. No, so when you pick up that thing called the Bible, right? It's God's Word. And in John 1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Now the same was with God in the beginning, and all things were created by it, and without it was nothing created that was created. So what are we saying? We're saying that everything bows and everything responds to words. Everything bows and responds to words because everything was created by words. Now, it also says that he upholds the entire universe by the word of his power. So, the word created everything, and then the word upholds everything. Wow. So, if you want to create anything, you create through words. If you want to sustain anything, you create through words. So, words create life, and words bring death. No wonder it is also written that the power of life and death lies in the tongue. So, words are used daily, and our words, create our daily experiences. So, words are used to give expression to a picture that you have in your mind. So, I'm going to break down the process. How does it really, really work? Now, I often say to people, right, that you should watch your thoughts, for your thoughts become imagination. So the word imaginations is split into 2 words: image. So thoughts form images. So images become words, and words become conviction. Your convictions become emotions. Your emotions become actions. Your actions, they become habits. Your habits become character. Your character becomes your destiny. Which means that thoughts morph into imaginations. Imaginations morph into words. Words morph into convictions. Convictions morph into emotions. Emotions morph into actions. And it becomes things. It creates things. And the effect on us is that every cell in our body, every tissue in our body, every organ in our body, right? They do not question information that is sent from our brain, from our mind, from our nervous system. Individually and collectively, people respond. People are affected. People are infected by words. Everything responds with equal fervor to our thoughts and our words, howbeit positive or negatively. So consequently, the nature of our thoughts, the nature of our imaginations, the nature of our words, the nature of our convictions, emotions, and actions greatly influence our fate, our destiny, and our life. So everything, that is, everything originates from a thought. And so that begins to, you know, present a case that what is a thought and where does a thought come from? So I checked the definition of a thought, and it's an idea, it's an opinion, it's something that occurs in the human mind. Now, thinking in itself is an activity that is considered essential to human existence. And unfortunately, there's no consensus to the definition of thought. Now, there is no research that proves where a thought comes from, or where an idea comes from, where an ideal comes from. We cannot track the source of thought. Now, if thought creates everything, and we cannot search and find the source of thought, then thought is a deep mystery. Now, a thought then expands into a thinking process. Now, what is a thinking process? It's a process where you elaborate on that idea or concept that drops. You expand it, and then you begin to put an image to it. So that's how a thought evolves into an imagination. Because if an idea, if a concept drops into your mind right now, right, and you begin to brood over it, you begin to process it, then you begin to see pictures. You begin to create images. And that's what the concept of imagination is. It's the faculty or the action of forming images, concepts, new ideas, right? And it gives, that internal system a representation of something that you have seen before. So you reference an image based on an experience, based on, something that you have seen before. Now, an imagination is the mind's ability to create and to be resourceful. So without your imagination, it is impossible for you to create. It is impossible for you to be creative. It is impossible to be resourceful. So imagination, in summary, is the faculty of imaging. That is, imagining. It is impossible for you to image or imagine without your imagination. It is impossible for you to imagine without a thought. And it is the creative, it is the formative concept of birthing things. So images, ideas, and sensations in the mind create. Now, nobody also knows what the source of the imagination is. Because if we scan your brain, we can't see your thought. If we scan your brain, we can't see your imagination. Which now brings me to the word. So I've broken down thought, I've broken down imagination. Now let me break down words. Now, a word, in definitive terms, is a single distinct, meaningful element of speech or writing. So words can be spoken or it can be written. However, it is defined as a word is a single distinct meaningful element. Now, a word can be used with other words, or sometimes it can be used alone to form a sentence. And what is a sentence? A sentence is used to give expression. A sentence is used to give a descriptive. A sentence is used to communicate or articulate a thought, or an imagination, or a picture, or an image that you have in your mind. Which means that the thought and the imagination, or the thought or the image, is invisible, right? It is operating within. Now, the thing that births it, the thing that presents it in the physical, is words. Which means that the word is almost like the womb of creation. Now, a word also is defined as a command. A word is also defined as a password. Now, what is a password? A password gives secret access, or it gives permission for something to exist, or for you to get access to something. and a word is a signal. So a word is the password to your thoughts, it's the password to your imaginations. It gives the physical expression or manifestation of that inner dynamic that is going on. Now, without words, thoughts and imaginations can never truly be birthed or can never truly exist in the physical. Now, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. And our mind is everything because that which we think, we become. And the process of becoming has to go through thought, imagination, words, convictions, emotions, action before they are birthed. So it is important for every human being to think twice before they speak because every word influences everything that happens in your life. So if you think, imagine, and speak negatively, you will create negative experiences in your life. If you think, imagine, and speak positively, you will create positive experiences in your life. So kindness in words create confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. And words are also actions, and actions are a kind of word. So it is important for us to recognize the import, the impact of words. Because one of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you cannot give expression to. We are what we think, we are what we imagine, we are what we say. Because it is written, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It is also written that we are ensnared by the words of our mouth. It is also written that the power of life and death lies in the tongue. Now, if you realize how powerful your thoughts, your imagination, and your words are, you will never ever think a negative thought. You will never ever sustain a negative imagination or speak a negative word. Now, to give us a context to how powerful our thoughts and imaginations are, scientists measured the power of a thought. And guess what? Your thoughts create 8 watts of power and energy. That is, every thought that you think can sustain, can light up this entire room, can power all these equipment without the ACs. So if you wish to know the mind of a man, you can only get in there through his word, because his word reveals the convictions of his heart and reveals his emotions, reveals his thoughts and his imagination. I'd like us to take a break, right? And when we take a break, I'd like us to play another affirmation so that people understand how to create the right words, because affirmation is a science. It teaches you how you need to speak to yourself and how you need to speak into the universe and how you need to speak to other people. We will come back and we will talk about the import and the implication. You know, they interviewed Jay-Z when they were talking about child abuse. You know, in America now, there's this thing going on about, sports people, musicians, producers, abusing women, especially at their younger years. And the interviewer said to Jay-Z, isn't he scared that for his daughter? And he said, no, you should be careful the kind of questions you ask me. And I need to be careful the kind of words that I utter. I don't want to put anything in the universe because my daughters will be okay. Everything will be okay for them. And the guy asked him again. I mean, but with the kind of things that are happening in society today, aren't you scared for your daughter? He says, I know that everything is going to be okay with them. I know that, they're going to be fine. So there's no point in you asking me that question and me putting out the words into the universe. The most successful, phenomenal people in the world, they understand the fundamental principle that words create. Now, if you check your life, right, check the things that you are experiencing in your life, trace it back, you will find the thought and the words that created it. Now, the only way to reverse the things that you experience in your life is to do a reverse engineering and change your thoughts and change your words. For it is written, renew your mind. And the whole concept of renewal of mind is renewing your thoughts, renew your imagination, and renew the words that you speak. If you can track your thoughts, track your imaginations, track your words, and flip it into positive, empowering words, thoughts, and imagination, your entire life will change. So I want to release words of wealth now. As we play the wealth affirmation, as you listen to it, as it begins to form thoughts in your mind, as it begins to paint pictures in your imagination, let it create wealth for you. Because wealth is not that paper that you see. Wealth is within. If you cannot think it, if you cannot visualize and imagine yourself being wealthy and speak wealth into existence, you can never ever be wealthy. You can never ever be wealthy. It's all in your mind. So listen to the wealth affirmation now, and then we'll come back. Yeah, I told you that I created the affirmations. It's an album with 12 tracks, and you can get it on audio.olcang.com/product/affirmation, and it only goes for 799 naira. So the link is audio.olcang.com/product/affirmation. And if you didn't get that, just go to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you would see the link there. So let me end, and begin to wrap this up with an experiment that was done by a gentleman called Masaru Emoto. Now, from Masaru Emoto's work, we were able to understand that water also had molecular structures, and the molecular structures of water could be altered by human vibration and words. Now, what is vibration and what is words, right? And what is the effect of it? So they took water from the same source and they put them in glasses and in bottles, and they created a photographic equipment that could capture the structure, the composite structure of water. Now, what is the importance of water? I want to tell everybody that water is the very source of all life on this planet. Nothing can exist without water. You can do without eating for weeks and months, but you cannot do without drinking water for 3 days. Any liquid, you will start to decompose and break down. So water is the very source of all life on this planet. It's the quality and the quality and integrity and vitality of it is what gives life. Plants can never exist without water. Even we can never exist without water. Our body is like sponges. It composes of trillions of chambers called cells that hold liquid. Now, the quality of our life is directly connected to the quality of water that our body contains. Water is a very malleable substance. Its physical shape usually adapts to its container. Now, water in itself gives life, and water in itself is life. And society, our environment reflects the quality of water that exists in it. Now, Masaru Emoto visually documented the molecular changes that happened to water using a rare photographic technique. Now, what he did was he froze droplets of water and then he examined them under a dark field microscope. And what he did was this: he took glasses of water, right? So he got water from the same source and he put them inside different glasses, and he labeled the glasses different things. So he wrote words. First experiment, he didn't speak words. He wrote words on a piece of paper and labeled the different glasses. Positive words: hate, death, destruction, life, love, hope, happiness. So he labeled different glasses of water with different words. And then he took droplets from each of those glasses and then he photographed it. And he found out that the words altered the molecular structure of the different waters that were taken from the same source. Now, he went further on to speak words into the same source of water. He replaced the container with another experimental water, and then they spoke words, vile words, negative words into one, and they spoke positive words into another glass of water consistently, and then they took droplets of each, and they found out that the molecular structure of each of the water was different. What they had done first, before they labeled or spoke words into the water, was they had captured the molecular structure of that water. It was consistent, it was the same. But when words were introduced through written words, that is, labeled, and spoken words, the molecular structure of the water changed. The third thing that they did was they introduced music. So they played rock, hard rock, vile music in an environment where they put a glass of water. And then in another room, the same water, they played inspirational, positive music. And they found out that the words in music and the vibration of the sound and the energy that the words and the vibration of sound created altered the molecular structure of the water. So, first thing, written words alter even when it's not spoken. Secondly, spoken words alter. Thirdly, words with vibration, that is, with music, have a different influence and effect on water. Now, people are wondering, what the hell is this guy talking about? Hey, let words affect water now. Let music affect water now. Let written words and spoken word affect water. Let me bring it home now. I want you to just imagine this. Now, approximately 80% of your brain is water. 90% of your body consists of water. 75% of your waste, that is your poo-poo and your wee-wee, is water. You produce enough saliva in your lifetime that can fill 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Now, science has now proven that if a human body that used to weigh about 75-80 kg is cremated, you don't weigh more than 4 kg. What does that mean? The water that weighs the 70 to 80 kg, when it evaporates and you are left with mere matter, you don't weigh more than 4 kg. So where did the 71 kg come from? It is the weight of water. This means that a bigger part of the human life existence is water. Now, if you subject yourself to the wrong words, just as that glass of water was infected by written words, you will be infected, because 90% of you is water. So have you ever noticed that when people speak negative words to you, your mood drops? It means that the structure, the molecular structure of the water inside you has changed. Anytime you listen to some kinds of music, it puts you in a mood. It is the molecular structure of the water inside you that has changed. Anytime you are around certain people, right, and a conversation is going on, or a kind of conversation is going on, something changes inside you. That is why it is important that you do not mess around with written words, with spoken words, with words that are captured with vibration, that is music. Now, we know that music has caused people to commit suicide. We know that music has compelled people to do things that they don't want to do. Now, words and vibration do not need your permission to invade your soul and your spirit. You don't need to give it permission. It has the password into your soul, and it has the password into your spirit. That is, the essence of your existence cannot stop the penetrative effect of words that are written, words that are read, words that are spoken, and words that are infused with music. And so we have received incredible testimonies of people being healed, of lives being transformed, of wealth being created by this 12-track affirmation. And I really, really, really want to charge you, if you want your 2018, right, to be everything that you want it to be, you need to go get those affirmations, because they speak to the 12 dimensions and the 12 areas of your existence. But finally, let me end with 3 stories. You know, in the book of Matthew 9:20 to 22, there was a story of a woman. They called her the woman with the issue of blood. Now, this woman had gone everywhere. You know, she had spent all her money. She had been bleeding for 12 years, right? And she has seen physicians, she has seen doctors, she has gone everywhere. That is, she took action. She moved. She went to seek counsel. They possibly did surgery on her, but the blood didn't stop. Guess what happened one day? The Bible records, and the Bible words are very deliberate. The Bible says, and she said to herself, she spoke words to herself. The previous things that she was doing was she was acting. She was going to the physician, the doctor, the surgeon, you know, to Babalawo. She was taking actions, but she hadn't spoken. But the moment she said to herself, if only I can touch the hem of his garment, and she took action based on the words that she declared and touched Jesus, the blood stopped. She said to herself, that is, she spoke to herself, and faith cometh by hearing, even if it comes from your own mouth, because your ears will hear the words that you speak. And that's why, have you noticed how earpieces work? Have you noticed the latest earpieces? They don't have mouthpieces. They just put them by the ear, right? Do you know how you can, when you are speaking, the people can hear? Is the vibration. Words come with vibration. Words are vibrational, right? And so it is the vibration and the frequency of vibration that transmits words. Words are spiritual. The second example that I want to give is the centurion in Matthew 8:8. So this centurion, this military ruler, saw Jesus moving, and he came to meet Jesus and said to Jesus, speak a word from where you are. My servant is far away, is at home, but I know that as you speak a word here, it will translate into healing there. And Jesus looked at the guy and said, wow, I have never seen such great faith, even amongst Christians and amongst the learned. And so, what did Jesus do? Jesus spoke a word. And the Bible recalls that when they went to check when that servant got healed, it was the same moment. So, words travel. They instantly create. Now, you don't need distance. And distance does not affect words. Space does not affect words. To tell you the spiritual nature of words, the third example that I want to give was found in Mark 5:41. Now, Jesus was approached by a little girl's parents, and they came to him and said, our daughter is dead. We want you to come to our house and speak a word, and we know that she shall come alive. And Jesus followed them and got to the house and held the girl's hand, and all he did was speak. All he said was Tali Kakum, which means little girl, arise. Those words spoken, death responded. That is, the girl could not hear because she was dead. She could not physically hear because she was dead. Now her spirit had left her. But guess what? Words spoke in the spirit dimension and brought back that life. And that girl came to life. That is why the word of God is a double-edged sword. It pierces dimensions of spirit, soul, that is emotions, mind, and the physical. So the only thing that is, that can cut across dimensions is words. The spirit dimension has to submit to it. The emotional dimensions of me too. If I tell you, see me, man, you look beautiful, man. Look at you, man. You have too much. You see, words are beginning to transform how you were feeling, right? So the emotional dimension is affected by words, and the physical dimension is also affected and infected by words. But let me end by telling you that thoughts are gone and words are bullets. And actions, your actions and your deeds are the triggers. And the target of these bullets are human hearts and things. With every shot that you take, with every bullet that you fire, you are killing somebody. Now, you remember that there's a commandment that says, "Thou shalt not kill," right? There's so many people that have killed with their mouths because their mouths are guns that are loaded with bullets fired to the hearts of men. There are people that are moving, walking assassins. They have killed so many people with their mouth and with their thoughts. Are you a thought assassin? Are you a word assassin? Because you need to ask yourself, how many people have I killed in my lifetime using my thoughts and using my words? By implication of that, I say to people that the source of fire is the hottest spark of fire. There is absolutely no way that fire can consume without first consuming itself at its source. So when you assassinate people with your thoughts and your words, you are assassinating yourself first. So he who do he. That is, whatsoever you sow, you will reap. And that's why the law of karma is one of the most powerful existing fundamental laws and principles. That which you sow through your thoughts, through your imaginations and your words, you will reap it. And so, if you want to reap the right things in your life, if you want to experience the right things in your life, you've got to change your thoughts, you've got to change your imagination, and you've got to change your words. And to change your thoughts, to reverse the process of your thinking, to reverse the process of your imagination, and to reverse the kind of words that you speak, go get the affirmation CD. It's just 799 naira. That is 800 naira. 800 naira will change your destiny. And as you listen to it, right, it will begin to change everything spiritual. It will begin to change everything emotional. It will begin to change everything mental and intellectual and everything physical. And where do you get it from? Go to audio.olcang.com/product/affirmation. And if you did not catch that, just go follow me on Twitter at Lanre Olushola, on Instagram at Lanre Olushola, or Facebook at Lanre Olushola. We're going to post this affirmation, and you can watch this program. You can watch it on YouTube by Wednesday, and you can send me any questions on info@olcang.com. If you've got any questions that you want to ask me, you want to share anything with me, I want you to send me an email on info, that is info, at olcang.com.